bags, and we're constantly trying to update it easier for installers, but it's there for a reason. It's so that you get the best installation ever possible. Because we want you to be successful too, as everybody does. Nobody wants you to fail.
You know, I'm going to expand on that point. One of the things that I see from the inspection standpoint, and that is I get this a lot with attorneys. When they're going to do an inspection, and let's say something's wrong, waterproofing's wrong, whatever the case is, right? And then I'll cite a guideline, and you can have a whole discussion on the difference between a guideline and not a specification.
Recommendation.
No, not a recommendation. A code. I can't think of the words. What? No, it's not requirement. I'll think of it in a minute. Probably once we're off the air here. A standard. I'm sorry, a standard. Okay, there's a difference between a standard, the industry standard, and a guideline, and we could go do a whole show on what that's all about. But anyway, what happens from an inspection standpoint, one of the first questions I always ask during an inspection is, when was this installed? So, give an example. Let's go in and say, well, 2006, using your date there. 2006 it was installed, and I happen to quote a guideline or a standard from the TCA manual, the MIA manual, wherever, ASTM, ANSI, whatever, and it's from the 2011 or newer. You can blow that right out of the water, because you have to look at what that guideline was and what that requirement was at the time
we mentioned that
of
in
installation,
right.
which is extremely.
So don't throw it away, or have some sort of electronic file of that book.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's important.
Exactly. Absolutely. All right. Well, we're close
Can you go back to TCA and get archived copies of
Yes,
that?
you can. Both, I think
It's much lighter than having a library at home.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Although I've got a huge library at home. Well, folks, we're getting near the end of our time here. I want to thank everybody: Benjamin, James, Riyadh, Jeff. And we'll have a beer for you, Jeff, at one time. Dave. And I'll wrap things up. Obviously, this is a podcast; it's not live, but you will hear this on my show probably next week or the following week. In the meantime, everybody have a great time. And,
Fred,
yes,
can you talk about what's coming up in class if they're interested in it?
Oh yeah, see, I'm terrible at promoting myself.
I'm your wingman.
There you go.
I do these stone and tile inspection classes once a year, and I do them usually in Vegas. And the reason I do them in Vegas is because there's a lot of failures out there. I'm sorry,
Are you
Vegas.
talking about me or the
Well, let's not go there.
You pointed directly at me.
And actually, James and his shadow dean also come in and do a presentation. But more importantly, they give us a live tour of some of the casinos and some other projects in Vegas that are part of it. This past year, we added a live quarry tour. I wouldn't expect to find a quarry in Vegas. It's like, 20, 30 minutes outside of Vegas?
Yep, good spring.
It's a quartzite quarry, but we're going to add a
Metaquartzite.
Metaquartzite, that's right.
The only one of its kind in the world, too.
That's right. But it was really good. We're going to add that to our class. So if anybody wants to attend that class, I keep it to 10 people maximum. It's going to be in January of this coming year, 2024. And I highly recommend it. Go to my website, stoneforensics.com. And by the way, while we're talking about my website, I just published over 108 different articles on that website. So you can check them out, ranging from everywhere from the consumer right on down to the professional stone and tile guy.
Hey, Fred, I'm going to put you on the spot. You have 2 students next to you from last year, or this year, I should say. Did you guys enjoy the class?
It was fantastic. As much knowledge as Fred had was great, but also the group of people. We had inspectors, we had installers, we had distributors all piping in their own little bit of information that not everybody had. And it was a very unique group of people, so it was really, really interesting. And then you were there as well, showing your side of it, and it was great. I learned a lot.
We've also learned lessons from Jeff, in that don't take an umbrella to the casino.
That's another story.
Or a backpack.
But really and truly, just to build on what Jeff has said, is that sitting with so many different people that touch different parts of the industry really helps when you kind of live in your own world every day, and you see the same things, and you kind of do the same things, and it starts to get, routine. Then you start talking to guys and gals who do things a little bit differently, and you realize that every little piece is part of that jigsaw puzzle that turns into one big, beautiful picture. So if you have a little bit of understanding of how everything works, it really, really, really helps you get your client that solution that they're looking for.
Great, thank you. Well, thank you again, everybody. Again, if you're listening out there, coverings next year. Obviously, if you're listening to this, if coverings is over, it's live now. But when you hear this, it'll be a podcast. But I've been going to the show for a long, long time, and it's growing like
Check
crazy.
out the full episode at www.blogtalkradio.com/drfred.